Did you know that you can vacuum seal food in jars? Well, you can, and today I'm going to show you how. It's Jody with All About the Harvest, and today I'm going to show you how to use the FoodSaver jar attachments to vacuum seal food in jars. For all things food related, subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button to be notified every Wednesday when I release a new video. So to vacuum seal food in jars, you're going to need a couple things. One, a vacuum sealer. I have the FoodSaver brand vacuum sealer. Your vacuum sealer will need to have an attachment hose or accessory port. So my particular model has an attachment hose right on it. This comes off, and this is what's going to go in the FoodSaver jar sealer lids. Now, not all FoodSavers have this particular type of accessory, so some of them just have a hole, and in which case you would use this hose. It would go in that hole, and then it would go in the jar attachment. These jar attachments can be purchased. You can either purchase them in a set or singularly. This is for a regular mouth jar, and this is for a wide mouth jar. I purchased both sets because I use both regular mouth and wide mouth. I will put a link in the description below. And then when you buy them, they do come with this hose. So if you don't have a FoodSaver that has one directly attached, it does come with one, so you don't need to worry. So you will get one of them. I won't need this today, so I'm just going to set that aside. And these are actually made by FoodSaver. So on the lid, it does say it's a FoodSaver Jar Sealer. So what I have here today is I have some rose hips that I picked in the fall, and then I dehydrated them myself. And I just recently used some of these when making an elderberry tea. I added the rose hips for some extra vitamin C, and I need to reseal this. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So it's not sealed. Now I could just put this top and lid on, and that would be fine, but to remove the oxygen you need to use these. So what you're going to do is you're going to put this on top, and then you're just going to put that in. Now I'm going to do this process for both this small jar and this bigger jar, and I'll run the process once the first time through, like the full length of time the first time through, so that you can hear the sound. The sound will actually change as it's getting closer to sealing the jar. So this first time I'm going to run it the whole way through, and then when I do it the second time I'll actually edit it out so it's shorter, so you don't have to listen to it all again. On my particular model, you will hit the accessory button to actually vacuum seal this. So the power's on, and then I have this on, this is in, and then I just hit the accessory button. Okay, and you heard how that changed. So now listen. You heard that. You want to undo that so that it releases that pressure. So now I'll take this off. Now with the regular mouth, this always comes out. For some reason, this seal always comes out in the regular mouth and it never does in the wide mouth. I'm not the only one that's experienced this. It's just how it is, but it's not a big deal. And it's good to actually take these out and wash them. Sometimes they'll get a little gritty. If you're vacuum sealing a powder like flour or say sugar or something like that, usually powder, is where this will get really gritty, and I'll take it out and I'll wash it. So, okay, now look at that. I can lift that up by that, and it's completely vacuum sealed. And so that's how you vacuum seal. It's very, very simple. Now, when I store my dried goods, I always put the ring on because sometimes you may lose that seal. So I always store them with the ring in case that seal gets lost. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but this particular jar is not a canning jar. This is, I don't know what this is, if this was a peanut butter or if this was, I'm not sure what this was, but it was definitely not a canning jar. And sometimes if the size isn't perfect, you might lose the seal later, so it's just nice to have this ring on. So all my dried goods I'm always storing with a ring on. And you'll tell when this has lost its seal because the little center button in the center will pop up. So you can kind of see here that will pop up. That means it's not sealed. So now I'm going to just show you again how to do it with, this is actually spinach. I just dehydrated this spinach. Last night it finished dehydrating this morning, and I put the fresh spinach in here. You can hear it's nice and crunchy. So I am going to vacuum seal it in this jar. Obviously, if I vacuum sealed this in a bag, it would crush these. So I'm going to put this in the jar, and then I'm just going to use that wide mouth attachment. Again, so you're just centering your ring on. So that's right on there, and then just do that. Now I'm turning it on, power's on, and then I hit the accessory button. Again, you heard that. And then, see, now this one stayed on. Okay, and then look, sealed tight. So usually what I will do is I will label them on the top of the lid what they are, and then the date, like I did with the rose hips, or like on a jar like this that isn't a canning jar. Sometimes I'll put a sticker or a label. I have some chalk label stickers that are reusable, and I'll just put that here so then I can see it when I'm looking at it on the shelf. So that's basically it on how to use your jar sealer to seal food in jars. Again, you're going to want to use dehydrated goods for this. You can use non-canning or non-mason jars. So this one is a canning jar. This is a half-gallon jar. So I use a lot of half-gallon jars for my dried goods, but I also use them for canning grape juice and apple juice. I haven't canned apple juice yet, but the only two things they're safe for is grape juice and apple juice from a canning perspective. So I use a lot of them for my dehydrated goods. That was a quick tutorial on how to vacuum seal food using the jar attachment. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and I'll be sure to answer them. If you want more tutorials on how to use the vacuum sealer in other ways, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll make sure to make a video for you. If you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you can get content every Wednesday when I release a new video. Be sure to follow All About the Harvest on Facebook and Instagram. Well, that's it for today. I hope you learned something about vacuum sealing food in jars.